I know what you're thinking. Wasn't Smokey here last week? That's right. This is Jim Ball again, reporting at the White House Heritage High School. This building is amazing, and it has attracted something even more interesting than the hundreds of military personnel that we had here last week. That's right. Wheelchair basketball. In order to do this, you kind of have to be a race car driver and an amazing athlete. Let's talk to the head coach and get the rundown of what they're doing here.
What are we doing today?
We're having our first basketball practice, which we call our camp, for this upcoming season, which starts, our first game will probably be in October. This is our wheelchair basketball camp that we do every year before we start our season, and we'll probably practice 3 or 4 times before we have our first game, which will probably be in late October, early November. And Able Youth, we have the only wheelchair basketball team in the kids' sizes in Nashville, or actually in Tennessee. So we have players that come from all over the state, Kentucky, and even southern Indiana. So it's long drives for the parents, so we normally practice once every other, we practice every other Sunday.
So how far, what's the longest distance some of them have to commute?
Down by Evansville, Indiana, so they drive well over 2 hours to get into Nashville.
They seem to have a strong competitive spirit.
Oh yes, we won the SEC last year. We had 3 players that went on to college this year. We graduated 7 last year, so we're down in numbers. We're looking for some new kids this year that want to enjoy the sport. And Able Youth is for kids that have lower limb disabilities. They don't have to be in a chair permanently, but they do have to have a disease or a disability, something that won't allow them to play regular middle school or high school ball. They're eligible to play with us, and we're governed by the NWBA, which is located out in Denver.
And you have an Olympian?
Yeah, we have an Olympian, and she's won 2 gold medals, and she was from the University of Illinois, and she's with us now as one of our coaches, and her name is Emily Hoskins.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of cool. You have an Olympian on your team. You know you're getting a good advice, right?
She's not on her team, but she's a coach.
Oh, right, that's what I meant. Right.
She's out of college, but yeah.
Would I be cheating if she was on the team?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, we have an Olympian too.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. My grandson, who's been in it 4 years, was my reason for getting involved. He has CP. Most of our kids either have spina bifida or CP. We have 1 amputee right now, double amputee actually. But my grandson has CP, and I wanted to get him involved because up to that point all he had to do was watch his brother, and he couldn't actually be active. And now he has his own team, and he had an operation a couple years ago, and instead of calling it an operation, it was off-season surgery. So he's really big into it. It's changed his life, and I retired 5 years ago and just let the doors open, and that's where the door opened, and so I coach them now. I'm the varsity coach, and I do all of the traveling arrangements and everything for the basketball team. We have a prep team, which is up through age 13, and then high school all the way up to graduation.
How far do you travel from each?
Because we only have one team in the state of Tennessee, that means we have to go out of state every time we play. We have 2 teams in North Carolina, 1 in Birmingham. We have another team in Atlanta. And so those are our southeast teams, and then a lot of times we'll go play up in Indiana, over to St. Louis. Our national championship for the last few years has been in Denver, and our national championship coming up next year will be in Louisville, Kentucky, which will be great for us. And so we always like to take a team there.
How, if I, saw this video and wanted to join, what would I do? How would I call? Who would I contact?
Okay, well, you can first of all go on the Able Youth website, and it has all the information on there.
What's the URL?
ableyouth.org.
So ABLEYOUTH.org.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Contact me at any time. Also, our director is available anytime to be able to talk to.
The director's name
is Rick Slaughter.
Rick Slaughter.
He had an accident when he was a teenager, and put him in a wheelchair, and he started the organization about 17 years ago.
Wow.
And we've been around here in Nashville doing that for that long. basketball is just a small part of our program. Our program, we meet once a month with all the kids, and we do something special every month and show the kids different things like how to drive and how to carry a tray in school in a wheelchair, and how to become an able-bodied person in a chair when they graduate. And our goal is to get them into college and have them graduate and become useful to society and have a job and buy their own house and their car, move out and away from mom and dad, and be able to be self-independent on their own. And a lot of our kids do. In fact, 2 of our coaches have went that direction, and now back in Nashville helping out with the company, have their own jobs and their houses, and it's a great program.
Chad, you're kind of competitive, I can tell, out on the floor. Where do you get that from?
I mainly get my competitive edge just from my dad and my grandpa. They both love sports and kind of gave that love of sports to me. And just me feeling like when you have a disability, you want to show people that you're not just a kid in a wheelchair. You're not just a kid that can't walk. You're a kid that can actually compete and can be athletic. And I guess that's where I get my motive from, to be competitive like that.
You guys are pretty fierce out there. I had a hard time keeping up with you with the camera.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense. We especially when you get to the higher levels, like in varsity and college levels and things, they get faster, stronger. So it's just fun for people to watch, and it's an insane sport, and I love it. So
I was surprised to learn how few teams there are and how far you have to go to play.
Yeah.
So you had, I mean, from one aspect, I guess you can do a lot of research on your competitors because there aren't that many, but then you have to travel a long way to get to them, right?
Yeah. I actually kind of like the traveling, though, to get from tournament to tournament, because it kind of, like, you get to meet so many people, you get to go to so many different cities. It's a lot of fun, but there is the drawback of your teammates are so spread out that it's hard to get a practice together. So this was actually the first practice we've had where all our teammates were together. So it's out of the 5 years I've been here, so it's pretty crazy to get everybody together. It just takes a lot of work, and my grandpa does a great job with it. And so.
Well, there you have it, Robertson County. This has been Jim Ball reporting for SmokeyBarn.com's Robertson County Daily at the White House Heritage High School in White House. If you want a beautiful yard, don't go to one of those places that have a plant section. Go to Corbin Creek Greenhouse. Plants are all they do. Corbin Creek Greenhouse has been dealing with plants for generations. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff will answer all of your questions, whether they're simple or highly complex. So when you're ready to take down the neighbors with the best landscaping on the block, you want Corbin Creek Greenhouse. They're located at 4920 Highway 161 in Springfield, 384-3185. Once again, 384-3185.